Hello students, hope you're doing great. I am Revant Siddhaya, your physics educator only at KLM Institute. Today's topic under physics is light, reflection and refraction. So light has some amazing properties. It allows us to see the objects around us. What else do we know about light? Light travels in a straight line and it allows us to cast shadows. And all you smart people, if you want to look yourself into a mirror, reflection is caused also by light. So let's study the reflection of light. Hope you all know the laws of reflection. Let's just quickly recall. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. This is the first law. And the second law is the incident ray, the normal, and the reflected ray. All three lie in the same plane. Now that we know the laws of reflection, it is not just for the plane mirror. It also applies for the spherical mirror. So what is a spherical mirror? Imagine a sphere like this and make few cuts here. What you get here are two spherical mirrors. One is a convex mirror and one is a concave mirror. Here in the convex mirror, the reflecting surface is on this side. And on the concave mirror, this is the reflecting surface. This is the concave mirror and convex mirror shown again. And here, imagine this as a center and this is a complete sphere. If you think this as a center, you can draw a complete sphere around it. This is called the curvature, center of curvature. We'll study another important terminologies about concave mirror and convex mirror. The center of the reflecting surface, which is called as pole, is represented by P. You can see here pole. And as I told you, the center of the imaginary sphere is called as the curvature of the spherical mirror. It is represented by capital C. In both cases, you can see capital C is present here. And the distance between them, the C and P, it is called as radius of curvature. This is the radius of the sphere also, but we call it in terms of concave and convex mirror, we call it as radius of curvature. So now imagine a straight line passing through the center of curvature and the pole of the mirror. This line is called as principal axis. This principal axis is always at normal to the mirror at point P. Even here at point P, it is at normal. And what is normal? It is at 90 degrees at this point of the mirror. And now let's study an important definition. It is called as principal focus. A point on the principal axis where all the reflected rays intersect. You can see here, these are the reflected rays. This is a point where it all intersects. This is called as the principal focus of a concave mirror. Remember guys, the definition is different for concave and convex. So point on the principal axis where all the refracted rays appear to emerge from is called as principal focus of a convex mirror. Here you can see, here are the dotted lines meeting here. This point is called the principal focus of a convex mirror, which is represented by F, capital F. Remember capital F as a principal focus. Capital F is a point. The distance between the pole and principal focus of a spherical mirror. This is called focal length, you guys. The focal length is represented by small f and capital F is principal focus. Please don't get confused between these two. The diameter of the reflecting surface, which is m n, yeah, the diameter of this, it is called as the aperture. And in this discussion we are only considering the apertures which are small, which are smaller than the radius of curvature. because such mirrors has a special relation between R and F, that is radius of curvature and the focal length. That is R equal to 2F. R is equal to 2F. What does it mean? That radius of curvature is twice the focal length. Also, you can tell half of the radius is equal to the focal length. These are the two experiments of concave and convex mirrors, and you can try try labeling these two diagrams by whatever you have learnt in the previous slides.
Register today at KLM Institute for free online classes, revisions, doubt clearance, private online and offline classes, Olympiad exams, and win prizes, scholarships, and much more.
Now let us study the image formation by spherical mirrors. If the position of the object is at infinity, here is the infinity, the image comes at the point principal focus here. It is highly diminished and point sized. It is real, that is, the real rays are reflecting, and it is inverted. You can't just remember all this, guys. So we have developed a ray diagram technique where you consider a elongated object. If you consider it, and there are millions, infinite number of rays hitting the camera right now. In case of the explanation, it is hitting the mirror. So you can't count or draw infinite number of rays. So we consider 2 points, two end points of the any object. So let's start with the first one. A ray parallel to the principal axis after reflection. These both are, this is a concave mirror, this is a convex mirror. The incident ray is parallel to the principal axis here. This is the principal axis, this is the incident ray. These both are parallel. Let's see what it says. Will pass through the principal focus in case of a concave mirror. You can see this is a concave mirror, and it is passing, the reflected ray is passing through the principal focus, or appear to diverge from the principal focus in case of a convex mirror. This is the principal focus in the convex mirror. It is appearing to diverge just from the principal focus. The next point is very easy, guys. The principle, it says, if the incident ray passes through the principal focus and hits the mirror, the incident ray, the reflected ray will be parallel to the principal axis in case of a concave mirror. In case of a convex mirror, if the incident ray is appearing to go to the principal focus, then the reflected ray will be parallel to the principal axis. It is just as the previous one, isn't it? Let's see the next one. A ray passing through the center of curvature of a concave mirror, or directed at the center of the curvature of a convex mirror, after reflection, it is reflected back in the same path. You can see here in both cases, in a concave mirror, if it passes through the center of curvature, it reflects back in the same path. If it is directed, if the incident ray in the convex mirror is direct to center of curvature, it is reflected to the same path. Now let's see the fourth point. If a ray incident obliquely to the principal axis towards the point P, that is the pole of the mirror, on concave or convex mirror, it reflects back obliquely. That is, it goes, hits the pole and reflects back in the same angle. It follows the law of reflection. In fact, all of the 4 points which we saw follows the law of reflection. That is, the incident angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Now this table should be very easy, because now we know how to determine the position of the image and the size of the image very easily. Now we can use any of the two rules which we discussed before to find the position of the image and the size of the image if the position of the object is given. Now let's consider it is at infinity. So let's use the first rule, which what does the first rule tell us? That the incident ray, if it is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray should pass the point principal focus F. Yes, and we can also use the third one. We can tell that the image is reflecting in this path along with the principal axis, but it is passing through the point C. So what does it tell? The reflected ray comes back in the same path. So where is the image? It is at point F, highly diminished. We cannot see the image. It is point size. If it is a pen, it becomes a point in the image form. Let's see another example. If the object is beyond C, we'll consider again any of the two rules. This will be the first rule. The incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. The reflecting ray should pass through the principal focus. And the another incident ray is traveling and passing through the center of curvature. It is coming back in the same direction. It is reflecting back in the same direction. Where is the object? Where is the image here formed? Here you can see the rays. Here is the object image formed. The size of the image is little diminished, but it is not point sized. The nature of the object, it is real, but it is inverted. You can see the arrow mark is pointing upwards here. The arrow mark is pointing downwards here. We'll try one last example. If the position of the object is at C, we can use the first two rules. I told you in the beginning that they are almost similar rules, but just opposite. Let's see how it works. If the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray should pass through the principal focus. It is passing through the principal focus. And the incident ray, if it passes through the principal focus, then the reflected ray should be parallel to the principal axis. You can see it is both in the same direction, going in the same direction and meeting here at this point. So the arrow tip comes here. So it is just real and inverted. It is just inverted. It is the same size. It is at the same location. It has the same position. It is formed at C. Students, please try the remaining examples at home. If you don't get it, please go through the rules and try it again. You can use any two rules to find out the position of the image. Let's see where the concave mirrors are used. They are used in flashlights. See them closely, guys. You can see the concave mirrors in flashlights, car headlight, dentist mirror. That is, the dentist uses a concave mirror to see inside our mouth because it comes enlarged. And also large concave mirrors are used in concentrated solar power. Let's see some uses of the convex mirrors. It is used in the rear view mirror or the safety mirror, which can be considered as corner mirrors also, because when you are turning in a corner, they put this safety mirror because you can see the car or any vehicle coming from the other side. Here there are also use of blind spot mirror. This small mirror is called a blind spot mirror. It captures a large area of objects behind you. Before we move on to the numericals, we need to understand the sign conventions for spherical mirror. The object is always placed in the left side of the mirror. This implies that the light falls from the left side of the mirror. That is, this is the direction of the incident ray. You can see here, it is mentioned in the picture. All of these points are mentioned in the picture. Please concentrate here. All the distances parallel to the principal axis. Where is the principal axis? Yes, this x-axis and is considered as the principal axis here. Uh, it is measured from the pole. All distances to the right of the origin. What is the origin? The origin is the pole of the mirror. The point P is the origin here. All distances towards the right side of the mirror is positive, and the left side of the mirror it is negative. Distances measured perpendicular to and above the principal axis, that is perpendicular to this axis, whatever the distances are measured, above the axis it is positive, and below the axis if any measurements are taken it is negative. This is the image, you guys. This is the object. There are two important formulas. One is the mirror formula. We'll understand the terminologies in this formula. The distance of the object from its pole is known as object distance. Imagine there is an object here, okay? The distance between the object and the pole is known as object distance. It is represented by small u. The distance from image, let's draw an image here. Yeah, the distance between an image and pole is known as image distance. Easy, right? It is represented by small v. And you already know this. The distance from principal focus from the pole is known as focal length. The relationship between these three quantities is known as mirror formula. How does it state? Mirror formula is 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. That is 1 by image distance plus 1 by object distance is equal to 1 by focal length. New Cartesian sign equation. We studied the sign equation, right? We should use the sign equation while substituting V, U and F in the problem. When you cast an image into the mirror, you see the size of the object and the size of the image is different. So we'll study how much is it different. This is known as magnification. Magnification is expressed as the ratio of height of the image to the ratio the height of the object. This is represented by the letter M. M is for magnification. And if the height, we consider height is h, height of the object is h, and h dash is the height of the image, then the expression becomes M is equal to the height of the image divided by the height of the object. You can also write it as M is equal to h dash by h. Magnification is not only related to the height, you guys. It is also related how far the object is placed. So we already know the object distance is u and the image distance is small v. So how is it related to that? We'll see. M is equal to h dash by h, which is equal to negative v. Negative, guys, negative is very important here, divided by u. The height of the image should be taken as positive for virtual images, but negative for real images. Why? Because of the sign equation, sign convention. A negative sign in the value of the magnification indicates the real image is real. Why is sign convention important is if you will get to know if the image is real or virtual. Let's look into a numerical problem. A convex mirror used for rear view on an automobile has a radius of curvature of 3.0 meters. If a bus is located at 5.0 meters from this mirror, find the position, nature, and size of the image. So let's see the solution for this. How to write it. We should also find the height of the image. And we are using negative here in the object distance because, yes, because of the sign convention. The object is placed in the left side of the mirror, so we'll take negative sign. So let's see the solution. We know the relationship between f and r, that is focal length is equal to r divided by 2. That means we can find out the focal length using the radius of curvature. You can just divide 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. We are using a plus sign because the principal focus of a convex mirror, in the question they are mentioned that convex mirror is used. Principal focus of the convex mirror is behind the mirror. So we'll take a positive sign. We also know the mirror equation, which is 1 divided by V plus 1 divided by U is equal to 1 divided by F, this particular expression. We can rearrange the terms. We can put 1 by U in the right hand side so that we can find 1 by V, because we need to find V here. Here I've written down what we need to find. You can just substitute and simplify. We'll do that. Plus 1 by 1.5. What is this? This is the focal length. And what is the U here? What is the object distance? This is minus 5 because it is in the right side, it is in the left side of the mirror. So next we need to simplify this and the expressions become in a positive sign. 5 plus 1.5 divided by 7.5. This is the simplification, and now the v becomes 7.5 divided by 6.5 because 1 by v was this expression. Now, if we want to take a reciprocal, we can just inverse. You can put denominator on the nominator side and nominator on the denominator side. Simplify this, you will get an answer up to 1.15 meters. The image is at 1.15 meters at the back of the mirror. And the magnification, how do you calculate? We already know the magnification and the relationship between magnification and the image distance and the object distance. We can just substitute m equal to h dash divided by h, which is equal to minus v divided by u, which becomes 1.5 meters, 1.15 meters divided by negative 5 meters, which comes up to the total of 0.23. The image is virtual and erect. How do you tell the image is virtual? Here you can see there is a positive sign and smaller in size by factor of 0.23. This is the magnification which you just found out. Here are few sample questions you can try at home. You all know the three formulas which are important today. R is equal to 2F and the mirror equation and the magnification. These are three important formulas, and you also should take care of sign convention. Hope you all have understood. Thank you guys. Have a great day.